Oh, Disney. You truly know when you've run out of ideas or you just have to make quick cash, if you will. Always say to yourself, we could do something new. We could just wait it out. Or we could do a live action remake of one of our original movies. How about that? And most of everybody who are either scared of not wanting to be fired or are just blindsided by nostalgia so badly, they're all just like, yep, we're good with that. We're all good with that? Yeah, yes. I hope I didn't lose my job. Or some of them are like, oh boy, I can't wait to see what they can do with this story and bring it to life. And then by the end, you just walk out of it and you're like, oh, was that it? I was expecting more from this.
Remember.
The Lion King 2019 is directed by Jon Favreau with a screenplay by Jeff Nathanson. The film stars Donald Glover, Seth Rogen, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Alfre Woodard, Billy Eichner, Kani, John Oliver, Beyoncé Knowles-Carter, and James Earl Jones. According to IMDb's plot synopsis, after the murder of his father, a young lion prince flees his kingdom only to learn the true meaning of responsibility and bravery. The Lion King from 1994 is considered an animated classic in Disney's library of animated films. To this day, people still rewatch this movie. People still either quote this movie or they sing the songs, whatever it may be. For the most part, a lot of people put this in like their top 5, maybe 10, I would give to say. And that is, I think that is where they would put it as like their favorite animated film. I think most people were just Disney fanatics or anime buffs, whoever, would probably put it up there as being like their top 5, top 10 favorite animated movies, or at the very least for Disney movies, it would be up there. Because coming out, it was during a Disney renaissance. In the 90s, you saw a lot of Disney movies were just hitting. This was all after the success of The Little Mermaid in '89, and then you saw a big wave of Disney movies from The Lion King and onward, coming out of a dark period for Disney's history from the '80s, which was like the dark age for them. And it pretty much solidified its legacy as being one of Disney's greatest animated films of all time. But of course, we are in an age where Disney remake their beloved films and make them live action, and it was just a matter of time before they would redo The Lion King. I mean, honestly, is anybody surprised that they would redo this movie if it is like massively popular with people, especially people who grew up with this movie? Does it really surprise you that they were trying to redo it? Not me, but I'm just saying it doesn't surprise me at all. As my history with this animated classic, I'm just going to tell you straight up the bat, I didn't grow up with this at all. Or if I did, I was probably very, very young. It's very rare for a lot of kids my age or just anybody in general to say that they didn't grow up with The Lion King. I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds ridiculous. I'm just saying for myself, didn't grow up with this as much as most people would say. I actually watched this film for the first time in preparation for the live action movie back in 2019. And what's weird is that I actually saw this live action movie on the Disney cruise when it premiered. And that was a very interesting experience. It was kind of cool, but at the same time, it was a really interesting one at best. But talking about the original, I just really wasn't that crazy about it at all. And what's funny and what's weird enough is I actually like the remake. I know that sounds weird to say, but I can assure you, after rewatching this in preparation for Mufasa, I wasn't crazy about this either, too. I don't know what I saw it back in 2019, but all I can now know is that after rewatching it as recently, I could tell you I'm not crazy about this movie either. Alright? There's some positives I like about it, but there are some negatives that just I see within this movie that I just can see with what a lot of people are talking about. But before getting into that, here are the positives. The performances are fine. They're nothing stellar, they're nothing amazing, but everyone is fine in this movie. They play their roles as what you would expect, and they do a decent job at it, especially James Earl Jones. Rest in peace. He will be sorely missed. And everyone does their best at recreating the iconic moments from the movie. As much as I understand what a lot of people complain about this movie in particular, I think everyone does fine. I mean, Donald Glover's enjoyable. Seth Rogen and Billy Eichner and Chiwetel Ejiofor, I think, does decently as Scar. So I'm not really necessarily complaining about the acting. I think everyone does a good job at it. The music is enjoyable. Original composer Hans Zimmer, along with Elton John and lyricist Tim Rice, brings the original score and songs back to life for everyone to love. These are the people that had come up with and composed and made the songs and score for the original Lion King, so they are all brought back for this movie to redo them or kind of repurpose them. And then, of course, you have Beyonce's contribution as well, because she does release a new song for this movie, but otherwise she just helps out with the music and helping make sure that everything that was from the animated movie is transferred over to this movie. It kept the music lively, I won't deny it. The songs are nothing original because they are literally the songs from the animated movie, but it was nice to hear them. I don't mind the music in the original Lion King, and having them be brought into live action, I mean, they were fine, they were enjoyable, they were at least decent enough to listen to. The cinematography is gorgeous. Cinematographer Caleb Deschanel captures a beautiful and stunning looking film, and while I can say it can be at times a shot for shot remake, and yes, very telling it can be, it still all looks amazing. I can't deny that. It looks gorgeous, it looks beautiful of seeing the African plains. I mean, I'm not gonna just deny how beautiful it can look just because it can look shot for shot. I can't deny how gorgeous it can look. The production is solid. The amount of work and effort that was put into this film is crazy. Trying to bring this to life for this movie, the talent that everyone brought, it's there. I will not take that away from the production team and their efforts of trying to make this as gorgeous and as beautiful as it can be and how it can look. The visuals are impressive, to say the least. And this is something I kind of went back and forth on. Seeing the detail on the animals are incredible and truly dazzling, though they do lack the emotions on their faces, which that is the biggest complaint that a lot of people have, and even I can agree with that. It's still breathtaking to see. It's gorgeous to look at the amount of detailing on these creatures, and just the detailing alone just makes this look and feel realistic in a way that makes it so amazing to look at. But I gotta be honest, aside from that, this just feels like another live action Disney film. There's nothing else to this, and it just kind of feels like it's pointless in the end. So here are the negatives. The direction, I'm sad to say this, is lifeless. Director Jon Favreau, who I enjoy, doesn't bring anything new or interesting. It all feels like the original director could have done this. There's nothing about this movie that has a signature feeling of Jon Favreau, and what's weird is he did The Jungle Book, and I felt his passion and love in that, but here it just almost kind of feels like he was just brought in because Disney worked with him for The Jungle Book to be for this, and I just don't feel the passion here. I just kind of feel like he just kind of was cruising along. He was on autopilot, and I just don't feel any sort of passion or dedication or showing how much he appreciates the original movie at all. The pacing and runtime is too long. Feels like the film is being stretched way too much. For an animated movie, it's crazy to me that they stretch this simple plot out so much so I'm just surprised that they stretch it out as far as they can. With a runtime of 1 hour and 58 minutes, this shouldn't have been 2 hours. Why the hell is this 2 hours? Seriously, people. I was not expecting nor wanting this to be 2 hours. And even I felt like that was a problem back then, and I still feel it now. This did not need to be at all a 2 hour movie. I don't know who thought that that was a good idea, but the story is nothing new. It follows the exact same story as the original to a T. Plus, I wasn't a fan of the original story. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like that movie gets by on just the fact that it was released during the Disney Renaissance, and plus also it has animals. It's very easy to just let this slip by, and I was just not crazy. because it also feels Shakespearean in a way, and I was always never a big fan of Shakespeare. And so for this to be just pretty much a retelling of that same story, I mean, you still aren't winning me over. The story's still not interesting, if you ask me. The writing is repurposed. Writer Jeff Nathanson pretty much takes the original script and just polishes it up. It's pretty much what he does. He's just polishing up the script just so that way it could be tweaked a bit, but otherwise, nothing else to this, because it's literally just a copy and paste. I think he even said that most of the lines in this movie are from the original film. So honestly, what is he doing that's being different here? The editing is inconsistent. Each scene feels like it has no flow and doesn't know what it is doing. Sometimes scenes can either be extended or shortened up real quick. The amount of inconsistencies with some of the editing choices in this feels like there's no flow, there's no groove. It all just kind of feels like scenes will be extended, then shorten part. Extended scene, shorten part, extended scene. Doesn't feel like there is a groove to it. It all feels messy, and it really does feel inconsistent with what it is trying to tell. I just felt like this was what most people would say, and that is, this was pointless. It all feels average, and it doesn't do anything new. Like, what does this movie do? Usually a remake of something changes something up a little bit. There's nothing here that's new. Nothing at all. It's not terrible, but it's also not good. And it's just middle of the road. That's the best way I can describe it. It's a safe movie. That's all it is. And that's what it'll always be. It's a safe bet for Disney. And it worked out for them because they made a shit ton of money with this movie. They made $1 billion. Holy crap. I could have never imagined a live action Disney movie making $1 billion off of a movie that I think most people would rather watch over this. So I am going to give The Lion King 2019 a 5 out of 10. I just think this is purely average. I don't see anything here that was warranted a remake, nor was anybody asking for it. But I mean, Disney don't care. It made their money back and so much more. I only say that because we're getting a prequel slash sequel. So what am I denying here? I mean, if for nothing else, Disney knows how to get people's attention, that's for sure. So now I'll be doing my review for Mufasa, and then soon A Complete Unknown, and then my best and worst of 2024, and then we could be done, you guys. So yes, look forward to those reviews and other movie TV show reviews coming soon.